In Lambda 2.0, it is possible to have a two-dimensional representation both as a matrix and as a group of elements with their own structure that can be used for specific elements. From the Insert menu, you can select one of the following items: binomial coefficient, system of equations, generic table, decomposition table of prime numbers, table for inequalities, table for the Ruffini method. All these elements, after being entered, can be viewed in table form by accessing them with the cursor over the table text and using the F10 key, which allows navigation by row and column using arrows, as with the cells in a spreadsheet. 1. Selecting binomial coefficient displays the structure, open, separator, close, on screen with round brackets, of a table with one column and two rows. Numbers, letters, expressions can be entered and managed globally with the duplicate and various display buttons. 2. By choosing system of equations, the structure appears, open-close, and it will be possible to insert all equations one below the other. It can be managed globally with the duplicate and various display buttons. 3. Click on Table to display a window for its configuration, with the number of rows and columns, by default 3, but you can increase or decrease this number. The structure appears, open, row separators and column separators according to the previously chosen number, close, on screen with square brackets, navigable with F10. It will be possible to add or delete rows and columns and insert any element, letters, numbers or expressions. 4. For prime factor decomposition, simply click on the entry under Insert, Tables, Prime Factor Decomposition Table and a predefined structure appears, navigable with F10, of a table with 2 columns and 10 rows. You can enter numbers and letters, not expressions, and change the number of rows with Add, Insert or Delete. 5. The table of signs and the table of common parts for solving inequalities are the ways students are normally taught to visualize common solutions in the case of products, or quotients of inequalities, or in systems of inequalities. In both cases, it is a graphic representation that, while helpful for sighted students, may be forced and complex for the blind. The choice was made to create a structure that mimics the procedure used in the classroom even for those who transcribe textbooks, but we remain convinced that this is not the optimal solution. In any case, we have created this structure with compensatory elements that can help as much as possible in using this method. Choosing under Insert Table the entry Table for Inequalities, a window for the guided configuration appears, which requires the input of the number of expressions to be compared, number of rows therefore to which a default summary row will be added, and the list of points numbers in ascending order, separated by space, involved in the inequalities. A sort of table then appears where each line contains the numbers previously typed in the dialog box, which are preceded and followed by spaces. In these spaces, the plus and signs of the various inequalities are inserted, and in the final line the sign of the overall inequality can be counted. The advantage of this structure is the easy navigation with the F10 key in rows and columns as in the previous tables. In the case of systems of inequalities, arbitrary symbols, for example V and F, or asterisk where the inequality is satisfied and no characters in the other spaces, may be inserted in the preceding and following spaces instead of the plus and signs. Here again, the final check will be particularly easy on the last line. 6. The table for Ruffini's method is a construction used to factor particular polynomials and involves manipulating only the coefficients of the monomials that make up the previously ordered polynomial according to the decreasing degree of the main variable. The entry table for the Ruffini rule is selected under Insert Table. A guided configuration window appears, where the coefficients of the ordered polynomial must be entered, separated by a space. A table is then created with 3 rows and a number of columns corresponding to the number of coefficients previously entered plus a column preceding them, where the known term of the divisor polynomial is to be entered. We then operate according to the known rules. The advantage of this structure is the easy navigation with the F10 key in rows and columns as in all tables.